Okay, guys, I welcome you all. Today is a demo session for Ansible automation tool. For those who don't know what is Ansible, Ansible is a Python-based automation tool, and it's an open source software, and is also maintained by Red Hat, which means you can get support from Red Hat as well. Okay, and why should you learn it? Because first of all, you can manage all the IT infra with the help of Ansible. For example, Linux servers, Windows servers, networking devices, virtualized virtualization platforms like VMware, Hyper-V, and cloud providers, Azure, GCP, AWS, storage, networking, everything is covered. All right. And in fact, if you have already cleared RHCS exam or you are preparing for RHCSA, you are eligible for RHCE. Okay. Sorry, not RHCE, but for Ansible. If you want to take the RHCE exam, the next level of exam, the prerequisite is you clear RHCSA first and then you take or attempt RHCE. Okay, but yes, knowledge you can take anytime. There is no restriction on that. All right. So let me start off first of all with Ansible. In fact, sorry. First of all, my name, which I forgot. My name is Amit, and I have industry experience of more than 13 years. And right now, I'm working as a infrastructure architect, an architect in automation. And what I do as an architect is I plan for the automation for the existing project wherever I'm, working in. So right now, what I do is I plan for automations like whatever is being done manually in the project. I just look out for opportunities and I sort of convert the manual work into automation, which which means we are going to hire low resources for the work. Okay, we release the resources which are not required, and we are actually working with less resources, but handling the entire project. Okay, resources in the sense the people who are working for us. Okay, so because I'm working for a MNC, so there are multiple projects going on. So this is how resources are shift among projects, and fine tuning is done. All right, and this is the need of the hour. Okay, we are living in the age of AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and automation. Okay, so if you are out for job hunting, or if you need to switch your job, you need to have one of these skills. Either you are good with AI, like um prompt engineering, this is called, okay, at a beginner level. Designing an AI is a different thing altogether, but how to use AI, how to make use of it. So that is prompt engineering. Okay, second is machine learning. Okay, with machine learning, you can do predictive insights, predictive analysis. There are so many things. And with automation, you can work in the place of 10 people. Okay, let's say there are 100 servers in your project. Right now, 5 people are hired for the same set of servers in the Linux team. Okay, and those 5 people are working manually, running the commands, logging in into the server, running commands and all. But if you know Ansible automation, you can single-handedly work on all of those servers. I'm not talking about troubleshooting and problems. No, that needs manual effort, right? You need to first of all diagnose what is the problem and then find a solution. I'm talking about the BAU. BAU stands for business as usual. It's a term used in the industry. It normally means like you perform user management or hard disk management, patching, system updates. That is BAU. Okay, the regular work that you have to do. And you can automate all of that regular work which is in your hand. Okay, which will obviously uh, get buy you some more time to learn new things. Okay, so if you don't know automation, you have let's say a full 8 hour job, and you have your 8 hours occupied. So what are you going to do? How are you going to upskill yourself? So when you know automation, you can obviously save some time for yourself, right? Multiple things there are. I mean, you can speed up the work, you can save money of your organization. Okay, so you can save money, you can uh, and yes, there are certain perks. When you know automation, you get higher appraisals, or you get higher uh, compensation as compared to others, right? Okay, so one of the automation tool in the market which is booming, which is on the rise, that is Ansible. Okay, so Ansible, otherwise it's an open source or software based on Python, but Red Hat also maintains it. It means Red Hat also contributes to Ansible. And if you want help from Red Hat in certain ways, like you're not able to create certain Ansible automation, you can ask Red Hat for the help. They will help you. Obviously, they will charge it. They will charge some fee that is called subscription. If you have the valid subscription for Ansible, you can raise a support ticket for Red Hat, and you can get the help you need. Okay, so Ansible is a Python based automation tool, and it is going to use SSH in the background to connect to the Linux machines. Okay, right now I'm talking about Linux and Ansible. Although Ansible can connect to Windows also, but right now I'm focusing on Linux and Ansible. Okay, because in the RHCE exam, it's all about Linux, the core knowledge, the fundamental, plus automation. Okay, all right. So Ansible is a SSH based, sorry, Python based tool which uses SSH as a connection method to connect to endpoints or the machines. Uh, and there is also one architecture of the Ansible which I'll tell you. Okay, Himanshu is asking SSH without password. Yes and no. It depends on your organization's policies. Okay, normally it is recommended to have passwordless authentication, which means uh, without the password, you can log into SSH. Okay, you can log in through SSH without the password. But in certain organizations, it's not recommended, so you need to have the password. Although you can automate that also. You can automate what do you call it? The password will be stored in some file and it will be used during the Ansible connection. Okay, there are several ways. Okay, in general, it uses SSH to connect to the machines, the endpoints. Technically, we call them managed nodes. Okay, and on the machine where Ansible is installed, that is called control node. Okay, so on the control node, you install Ansible. From the control node, SSH connection will be initiated to managed nodes. Okay, so this is a abstract view, a high level view. So if you get into deeper, you'll see many things. Yes, I heard someone. Any doubts? Anyone? No? Okay. All right. In fact, let me open a diagram which I created maybe a day back. Yeah, this one. Just to give you an idea how Ansible works. Let's say this circle is my company network. There are 4 5 Linux servers in the network which are in orange color. Okay, and I need to automate things here. I don't want to log in manually and perform the task. For example, update the servers. Okay, so update the servers. If you know Linux, it is DNF update or yum update command, right? So, but let's say the list is 100 servers in your hand. How are you going to do it? Manually? When we talk about updates, there is a fixed time slot that is called maintenance window of 3 hours or 4 hours. You have to cover all the servers in those 3 or 4 hours. If you are alone, how are you going to cover, let's say, 50 or 100 servers? Not possible. You need some sort of automation, right? So here you can take help of Ansible. Okay, what to do? You just pick a server or deploy a fresh server just for Ansible, and it will be called control node. Like here, I created one machine. I installed Ansible here. Let me mark also. Hold on. Yeah. So I installed Ansible. At the same time, I created a user. In this case, I created DevOps user. Okay. And this DevOps user will also be deployed on all the other machines, which are the managed nodes. Okay. So that from control node, SSH can happen to manage nodes with the help of the user DevOps. Okay. At the same time, as a recommendation, passwordless authentication, which means log into the machines without password. only for DevOps user. And lastly, I will make sure Python is installed on all of these machines. By default, it's there. When you install Red Hat Linux or any Linux, you will get Python version 3 by default. Okay, but still, just verify. Okay, and as I said, DevOps user will be connecting to these servers. Ansible will do it. Ansible will pick DevOps user, connect to these machines via SSH. It will happen automatically in the background. Okay, and this is the basic structure. Control node, manage nodes, SSH connection. All the nodes should be reachable via network using SSH port number 22, right? And preferred is passwordless authentication. And this user should be present on all the machines. And on the manage node, especially, this DevOps user should be able to become root with sudo without password. Okay, so without the need of password, user should be able to become root. I hope if you know Linux sudo, you know how to do it. It's very easy. So this is the initial configuration and you are ready. Okay, I'll not get into the minute details on how to set up configuration installation right now. So right now I just want to just kind of demonstrate the benefits of Ansible and how you can use it, right? Okay, there is a chat again. Himanshu is asking how to add contain in any file without removing stored data by using Ansible playbook. I used copy module content, remove my stored data. Uh, you want to add contain means you need to add content. Okay, you need to add content in any file without removing stored data. So you need to use append mode. Okay, so by default it's overwrite. You should use append. Append is an attribute. Not attribute. Sorry, option. Okay, so with copy module you can use append. All right. In fact, you can check Ansible doc command. If you know Ansible, you will be able to run this. Okay. Ansible doc, copy and find where is this append. And now, if the data is gone, you cannot recover it. You have to ask backup team to recover the same file. 2 days back data or 3 days back data. Okay. Okay. So this is Ansible. Really useful. Organizations are migrating from the other automations which were available now to Ansible. Okay, so transition is going on. At the same time, let's discuss what are we going to learn in Ansible class. Okay, and when it is starting and everything, I'll be explaining shortly. So let me first of all open the table of contents. Okay, so before the table of contents of Ansible, see when you want to learn Ansible for RHCE exam, this means you should first remember and learn the Linux fundamentals, Red Hat Linux fundamentals. Okay, so you should know the basic set like basic commands, ls, cat, vi, rm, copy, delete, move, all those things. Simple shell scripts, you should understand how to create a shell script, a basic one, even 2-3 lines, that's it. Okay, and then how system boots up, how are processes starting and how to manage the process, how to manage daemons, services, targets, like that, how to manage a hard disk, logical volume management, swap management, okay, and basic networking knowledge, IP address and all, how to manage users, manage security with firewall and SE Linux, and finally the containers. This is the basic. Okay, so when you know the basic, you are ready for RHCE or Ansible automation. Now, what is Ansible? What are the topics? First of all, the fundamental. Okay, so manage the security, manage user and groups, all those things, the fundamentals of Linux. And then it starts with Ansible. So in Ansible, there are things called modules, inventories, variable, playbooks, configurations, etc. So this is the first of all the core components. So you will understand all the core components and then the usage also, obviously, how to use them. Example, inventories. Inventory is a file which stores all the IP address and the names of the managed nodes, these machines, where Ansible will connect. Okay. All right. Just a second. Yeah. So it will store all the names of the servers where Ansible will connect for automation, will do some job. Okay, that is inventory file. Module. Ansible works on module. I'll show you shortly how it looks like. Variables. Yes, you can have variables. You can store some data in the variables, and yes, use it as well if required. Facts. Facts is like uh, properties of the system, properties of a server are stored as facts. Play and playbooks. These are complex instructions which you can, mention everything in a file. Configuration files, obviously, Ansible needs certain configuration, which I'll be explaining you in brief, right? After the core components, the next part is the actual part, how to install and configure. How to install Ansible, how many methods are there, how to configure it. It's all about a configuration file and an inventory file, right? And how to how to configure the manage nodes. Yes, there is some configuration required. You have to create a user. The user should be able to use sudo, stuff like that. Okay, and how to combine shell script and Ansible automation. Yes, you can do that. It's very easy. Okay, and then play and playbooks. How do you work with play and playbooks? Playbook is like a file where you specify Ansible instructions. Without a file, you can run a single Ansible commands. Okay, single instructions, but multiple instructions can be accommodated in a playbook. It's a file. Then various modules. If you want to clear the exam, you should remember and how to use these various modules like software packages and repositories. How to install a software using Ansible, how to create a repository, how to update the applications, how to update the server itself, the operating system itself. Services, how to manage the services. Firewall, uh, partitions, okay, and cron jobs, security, user and group. Everything is can be automated. Whatever is listed can be automated with certain modules. So we will learn all those modules. There are like maybe 20 maximum modules which we need to learn. That's it. Okay. And then roles in Ansible. That is very important. What is a role? A role is a way using which you can reuse your automation. Let's say you created a playbook, you want to share it with others. You will convert your playbook in roles and then you can share the role. This way, reusing the code becomes easy. We will see how it is done. Okay. And then there are some advanced features like Ansible Navigator or Ansible Tower. Okay. Uh, community modules. Okay. Collections, roles and collections, community modules. Okay, Ansible Tower, and yeah, so all these things. Yes, Ansible Vault, which I almost forgot. So these are all part of advanced things. So we'll get into these points when we once we start the classes properly. Any doubts? Any questions?
Amit, I just have a question.
Yes,
Like,
please.
normally in DevOps training, there will be Ansible module as well, right? We'll be covering most of them, or will be covering much more than them?
Much more than that. So it's a
Okay.
50-hour duration course. We are going to cover all the topics which are compulsory for RHCE exam. Okay, plus few more things like Ansible Tower. Although it's not in the course, but since I know the importance of Ansible Tower with experience, so I'll be demonstrating that as well. I want you guys to be ready for the job or for the organization. Okay, so maybe when you get hired as a automation engineer, they might teach you Ansible Tower as well. But when you know it in advance, things become easy, right? Because normally
Yes.
you get KT when you join some organization. You'll get KT for a month or two. Okay, why to waste time in KT? Start working immediately. Okay, you just need 1 week of time to understand the environment, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Basically, the question why I ask is like, I'll be supporting the firewalls, but I wanted to move, towards the automation.
Yes. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I started.
See, if it's
Yeah.
a physical device firewall or a virtualized, what do you call it, virtual appliance firewall, you can manage it. If it's a operating system based like firewall D, the daemon, you can also manage it with Ansible. There are
Yeah.
modules for everything. Modules to manage cloud, modules to manage Windows servers, Linux servers, right?
Yeah, and you will be explaining, how we can, go for the enterprise architecture or enterprise automation, at least,
Yes, yes. When I
kind of.
start, yes, when I start Ansible Tower, then I'll be touching that topic. So when we talk about enterprise level automation or configuration uh, as a code, okay, configuration as a code, that is very important.
Mm.
Okay, so I'll
Oh,
discuss all these things when we are at the right topic. Okay.
okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I have kept it in the chart. Sorry.
Okay. Just a second. Okay, so other automation tools available in market, how Ansible is different from them. See, first of all, uh, prior to Ansible, there used to be like Chef, Puppet, and all. They are all agent based. So you have to deploy the agent, and then the automation happens. But with Ansible, it's all, what do you call it, SSH based. So using SSH, you connect to Linux machines. Using WinRM, it's a protocol in Windows. Using WinRM, you connect to Windows machines. Okay, it's a PowerShell based protocol. I think it's called Windows remoting. Okay, so you can enable it and you can communicate with Windows devices as well. Similarly, using APIs, you can connect to vCenters like virtual vSphere, VMware vSphere, vCenter. You can connect and you can perform the automation, deploy the machines from the template or whatever you want to do. There are several modules available for each and every task. Okay, so it's like a complete automation solution. Okay, and it doesn't need that much of configuration because it is agentless. You just deploy the control node with Ansible. That's it. Okay, most probably you will be choosing one common user which is already deployed on the systems, or you deploy using shell script. It will be a one-time activity, and it will be it's a quick setup in short. Okay. All right. Secondly, I remember Terraform as well. Terraform is also a popular tool in the industry. It uses mostly APIs from the cloud providers to perform the automation. Okay. But as I said, with Ansible, yes, you can use APIs. There are separate modules. You can use inbuilt or native commands, which are modules. Okay. So you can do that. So there is more flexibility with Ansible. Also, it supports YAML, which means YAML is like yet another markup language. It is a syntax based language. You just need to follow the syntax and you can instruct Ansible what to do, how to do. All right. And Ansible is also capable of deploying containers, managing containers, microservices, right? And you can do so many things with it. There is another question, guys. Are we going to cover shell script? Yes, we will be covering shell script basics. Not a big deal. We will cover it. We will be covering the most important stuff like variable parameters, if statement, if else, like that, for loops. Okay, all these things, conditions and all, everything. Okay, like that. So this table of content may look small, but it's all about 50 hours course. All right, so let's talk about the class. It's gonna be a 1 hour class every day. Okay, weekdays only. Okay, most probably it's 9:30 to 10:30. Okay, and it's a 50-hour course. Normally, as per my previous batches experience, we normally finish within 40 hours, and we keep 10 more hours for the buffer. Let's say sometimes I'm not well, I postpone the class, or the class gets cancelled due to some reason, right? Or maybe for practice, you need 2 3 days more for practice, right? So it's a 50-hour course. Normally 40 hours are more than enough. and it will be 1 hour every day, 5 days a week, 9:30 p.m. to 10:30. Every day we are going to have live class, right? But the class is also recorded, which means you can revisit the recorded sessions from the student portal. Whatever I use, whatever material like PPT or ebook, whatever it is, those will be shared on the Google Drive. Okay, so I'll be obviously creating a new Google Drive for this batch. Keep all the things in advance so that you, when you enroll to the course, you get the link, you download everything on day one, so that you have the books, you have the PPTs in advance, and yes, the notes are on daily basis, obviously. So the notes will be on daily basis. Okay. There is another chat. Hold on. Okay. Hi, Ganesh. Good evening. Any possibility of weekend? Yes, there is a possibility of weekend. You need to contact the support team, Network Kings. They might be able to, assist you further. As far as I remember, I have a free slot in the weekend as well. It's 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, so that's a free slot. If it's feasible, they will align you to this weekend batch, and we are yet to start the weekend batch. Okay, we have not started it. Okay, so you can contact the team; they'll assist you. Okay, so this is the basics. In fact, let me do one thing. Let me give you a demonstration, a quick demonstration. All right. Okay. So right now I'm on a machine. Basically, I have deployed 4 or 5 virtual machines in my laptop. Okay, and I've logged into control node. I named it as control itself. Okay, I'm logged in as DevOps user on the control node. Okay, let me get into the project directory where I keep all the Ansible related configuration files, inventory file, and other stuff. Okay. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me try to ping all the other 4 machines which are part of this lab. Okay, if I have to do it manually, I will do ping node 1. I check, okay, ping replies, control C to cancel. Then ping node 2, cancel, ping node 3. So it's going to take some time. If there are 30 servers, it's going to take so much time. 3, 4 is nothing. So how to do it parallelly or via automation? Ansible is here. Ansible I have already installed and configured here in this control node. Ansible space all -m ping. Let me show you the output first, then I'll explain you what's happening. So Ansible command I'm using here on the command line interface with some options and values. Like here, first of all, I type all. All means use or connect all the servers which are mentioned in the inventory file. Okay. Although if I just want to check for the connection for 2 or 3 machines, I can specify comma separated. So Ansible all -m. -m is the module. What module to use? See, in Linux, there is a command ping, right? In Windows also. That ping command is converted into a Python module. In the background, this Python module will work. You need not to learn Python first of all. Ansible uses Python. For example, let's say Amazon.com. It's built using PHP. I'm just, taking one example. It's not real, but yes. Okay, so it's built using PHP language. But do you really need to learn PHP to, use the application, Amazon, the web application? No, you just use it. Right? Similarly, Ansible, you just use it. You just follow the rules of Ansible, and that's it. Okay, so ping. So ping module is working in the background, and it connects. Ansible connects to all of these machines parallelly, node 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was able to run the ping module and get the result back. What is the result? Node 2 says success. Node 2 was reachable. Okay. Similarly, node 1 success, node 3 success, node 4 success. Okay. So it is that quick. Not only ping, you can do many things. Example, let's say you have received a request from the client asking you to deploy a user by the name auditor. Okay. So you have to deploy the user by the name auditor on all of the machines. How will you do it? Manually, it's going to take time. Let's say there are 300 servers. It's going to take time. But with Ansible or with some automation, you can do it. Like Ansible -m user module. User module will we need to pass some values to the user module, like username and all those things. So I simply say name equals to auditor. Okay, press enter. Let's see what happens. Immediately you get the results. What are the results? On node 1, it says changed. Some change happened. What is the change? User by the name auditor has been created. Its its ID is 2601 and assigned shell is bash shell, and the home directory of auditor user is /home/auditor plus more things. So you get details in return. What actually happened? Okay, so not only the first machine, all the 4 nodes. I have 4 servers in the lab. So all the 4 servers, on all the 4 servers, this auditor user has now been created. So if you do it manually, it's going to take easily 10 minutes for the 4 servers, or maybe 5 minutes at least. But this Ansible tool took only maybe 5 seconds for these 4 servers, 1 second per server, like that. Okay. And if you want to confirm or verify whether this user is actually present or not, you can run a command manually or use automation for that. You can also verify with automation. I can use a command module which can run any command, whatever you like. Let's say to find the user, we use id command in Linux, id space auditor. Okay. Now this should return the details of the user on from all the machines. Okay, it says on node 2, auditor user is present. On node 4, node 3, node 1, you know. So this is the verification step. And the command I'm running here, Ansible, this method is called Ansible ad hoc command. Okay, which means you're running the command on the command line interface. Okay, but you can also create a playbook. First of all, why do we need a playbook? Creating a user or pinging the machines, it's a small task, one line task or one small activity. Okay, let me take one example. Install the web server httpd. Okay, add the service http in firewall or allow the traffic. Okay, add http service in firewall. Okay, and create a file index.html inside /var www html by the name index.html. Okay, and have this content. Let's say hello world. Okay, so there are 3-4 tasks, right? So if you know Linux, you would remember to install. How do you install http and all these things manually? How will you do it? With commands. Install http. So dnf or maybe yum, both commands are valid. Yum install or dnf install httpd, right? Second, you have to enable it. Systemctl enable --now httpd. Okay, so this is how you make sure the service is enabled for startup and the service starts immediately. Add the http service in firewall. Firewall -cmd -add-service. These are all manual steps in Linux, but we don't have to do all of this in Ansible. We simply use the module. What to do? That's it. Okay, add service equals to https -permanent, and then reload. Okay, and finally you create a file with echo. I can do that. Hello world. Redirect the output in var www html index.html. Okay, so these are the 4-5 steps in Linux. So if there are like 30 servers where you have to deploy the web server in the same manner, how can you do it? If you don't know automation, it's a manual job. Okay, so manually log into the machines, run these commands, verify every command. With every command, you have to verify as well, right? So verify, and then log into the second machine, run these commands, verify. It's going to take some time. And yes, we can also change the port. Himanshu is saying, please change the port. Yes, we can do that. So in that case, we will add the port number 82. Okay, so change the port from 80 to 82. I'm not going to do everything here. It's a demo session, but yes, during the class, I'll be doing it. Okay, so I just want to give you an idea how to achieve this, how to, perform the automation when you get these kind of requirements. Okay, and let me just show you for the idea how it will look like. In fact, I have already created this file, cat htdp.yaml, not cat. Let's do vi for color highlight as well. Okay, so in a playbook, in an Ansible playbook, we need to follow some rules. Rules like three starting file. Start at the start of the file, we need to have three hyphens, hyphen space name colon, and then we need to have two spaces, four spaces, like that. It's all about indentation. I'll give you the idea once we start. I mean, it's too early to explain you the indentations and all, but the steps which we had, like 5 6 commands, these are all these all will be executed with the help of certain modules. Okay, like dnf or yum, it will be done via package module. Systemctl using service module. Okay, similarly firewall with firewall d module. Okay, and echo, there are many ways, but I will use copy module. So 4 modules I'm going to use. So I'm using these 4 modules. Package module is here, and then service module. Similarly, the service, yeah, firewall D and copy module. Okay, all the names which you see here, name colon, these are just comments, just to show you on the screen when you run this automation, at what stage automation is running. It's adding the firewall, or it's creating the file, or it's installing something. That way you get to know what's happening. Okay, so this is the Ansible I'm talking about, the automation tool. Okay, and it's a good to have skill. Automation, maybe ML, AI, or automation is always a good to have skill. It will save your time. Okay. Okay. Having said that, I almost forgot to tell you about the RHCE exam. See, when you learn Ansible, complete Ansible 50-hour duration course, you also prepare for the RHCS exam. RHCE, sorry, RHCE exam. It's a 4-hour exam. Okay, and approximately 18 questions, and these are all practical questions, which means one question will be like this: install http, change the port, add the into firewall, create this file, all of this via automation. Yes, you can do that. Okay, so there will be 18 such questions, starting from user management, package management, hard disk management, generate some sort of report, use shell scripts, and use the other Ansible features. Okay, so 18 questions in total, 4 hours duration, and obviously we are going to practice everything. We are going to practice the sample patterns, sample questions. I'll explain you how, what are the tips and tricks to clear the exam, how to get help in the exam. Yes, you can also take help in the exam, because help is inbuilt. When you install Ansible, you get help as well. Okay, so there are many more things to discuss, but we'll start with the class. Okay, I think we're gonna start classes from Monday, I guess. Today is what? Thursday, yeah. So we're gonna start classes from Monday. Uh, at least for sure, I know that weekday class is there. If there is another weekend class also, then team is going to inform you. Okay, so I'll be taking the weekend as well. Okay, so there will be 2 batches parallelly, weekday and weekend. All right. Any doubts till now, guys? Any questions? And yes,
Amit,
as I said, yes, please.
yeah, to write an RHCE exam, is it mandatory that we need to have RHCSC as well?
Okay, so if you need to attempt the RHCE exam, the prerequisite is you need to clear RHCSA first. But as far as learning is concerned, there is no restriction. You can learn it. People learn both the topics parallelly, and then they give exam one after the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm talking about, who is, seasoned Linux admin. It's not a big deal for them to, cover the basics and Ansible, right, in one go. But yes, for freshers, I do recommend go step by step. First, learn Linux completely, the fundamentals, and then switch to Ansible automation. Because in the Ansible automation, you are going to repeat whatever you have learned in RHCSA preparation or fundamentals of Linux. Okay. All right, guys. So this is it for today, guys, in this demo session. Any more doubts? Any questions? And let me also see if I miss anything. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys. So I guess this is it for today. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining in. We'll meet again when we start the batch. Most probably on Monday. It's gonna be a 1 hour batch, 9:30 to 10:30, and see you then. Okay. Till then, bye bye.